last month, we've traveled around with our scenarios and really been gratified at the kind of response we've had from the seniors themselves.
And many of them had examples of the ways in which the skits that we presented had in fact happened in their lives or the lives of people that they know.
People shared some really personal stories with us, and we appreciated their candor because it really showed us that these scenes did spark conversation, and that's what it's all about.
The second one is the dynamics between a caregiver and someone who significantly needs some assistance. So a daughter and her mother, and they fall into a pretty disruptive disagreement in a doctor's office, and someone offers them some help.
Hello? Hello? I can't understand what you're saying. There's too much static. Oh, George. No, George. I can't deal with that problem now. The reason I'm not at work today is because I've had to bring my mother to yet another of her doctor's appointments. Look, I'll call you back later. That's if this doesn't take all day. Vera Lang?
Do you know which doctor your mother's to see today?
Oh, which of your many doctors do you have to see today, Mother? Oh, for God's sake, what are you looking for? You won't find anything in that saddlebag of yours.
Oh.
Please, could you just look it up?
Do you know what her concerns are?
Oh, she's complaining about pains in her legs, but at 82, what do you expect? Just look it up, please.
Sore legs. Ah, here it is. Dr. Bovine, the calf specialist. Oh. Actually, it's Dr. White. Please have a seat.
Thank you. Here, you sit there. You can read this. Oh, what a waste of time. What a colossal inconvenience this is in my life. Oh, what the hell do you want now?
Oh, don't you talk to me like that, Mrs. Bigshot. In fact, why don't you just shut up?
Don't you tell me to shut up, you old witch.
Oh, my.
I am a good man to get up and leave you right here.
Oh, good.
Can I help? You seem to be at the end of your tether here. Look, I understand. I look after my dad and it gets pretty frustrating at times. I think for both of us, eh, Dad?
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, did you know about respite services? I found out about them about 6 months ago and it's been a godsend.
Go on.
Well, they can provide respite for you and for your mom too.
Really?
Yes, why they even have volunteer drivers to take seniors to their appointments. I'm off today so I could bring Dad, but if I'm busy, I get a volunteer to do it.
Really? Oh, that would really help. Get the boss off my back too. Do they offer any other services?
Quite a few, actually. I was surprised. Why don't we go on up and ask the receptionist if she's got any information about them?
Well, thank you. I mean, what have I got to lose? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Arlene Timmons, and I played the part of a caring daughter there with my father and an intervener in the doctor's office when another daughter and mother were having a difficult time with each other. How it felt for me, well, I'm a social worker by training. I work helping people learn to be assertive and stand up for themselves. It was interesting for me in that role about how hard it was, even my own discomfort, should I say something. I felt fearful while that interchange was going on, and yet I believed that there was a safety issue there and I needed to say something. And as hard as it was for me to do that, I did speak up. So that really helped, that it diffused the situation. I understood the frustration of both of those people in that role. I felt nervous, actually, as I got into character, experiencing that, and yet really knew because it was a safety issue that some intervention needed to happen.
Hi, I'm Maureen Langridge, and I was Vera. I was the mother of the daughter who had to take me everywhere. I had to completely rely on her for assistance. I reacted very angrily because my daughter felt that I was such an imposition in her life. And I understood that I was really. But it just made me angry all the time, that I was sort of pushed and shoved everywhere. I was never, ever able to speak for myself. If anyone asked me a question and she was around, she would immediately say, oh, well, I'll tell you what's wrong with her. And it just made her very, very angry and very upset. And actually, by the end of the scene, I felt, as the mother, a terrible sadness. I felt I almost wanted to cry that I had been reduced to this woman and, who probably led a very productive life. And then all of a sudden she's reduced to the point where she cannot cope by herself.
Hello, I'm Maureen Penn, and I played Henrietta in the skit in the medical centre. It brought home a number of issues for me. I think of my own mother. She's 92 and she still lives on her own. I'm not there to be a caregiver for her, but my brother and sister are, and I know it can be a struggle at times. She's a very independent woman and won't always accept the help that is available from community resources. And that puts a strain on my brother and sister and their families because she can be pretty demanding of them. It also brings home to me the fact that I'm getting older too, and I really don't want to be in that position. Being reliable, having to rely on everybody for everything, and that must be an awful struggle for people. Another issue that was shown in this skit was the fact that neither myself as her daughter or the receptionist actually addressed the mother in this instance. We carried on a conversation that was about her, but did not allow her any input. And so I really do understand how that can affect people too. So I think it's a very telling issue in terms of something we might not see as abuse, but in fact can be abuse on both sides. So something to be aware of and to be careful about how we treat each other, I guess.